In this video, we are going to learn about the CrowdStrategy Marketplace and how to create your own automated trading strategy in DeFi. To get started, open the CrowdSwap application and navigate to the Strategy Marketplace tab. Click on it and you will be redirected to this page. Here, you have two options. You can either use an existing strategy created by another user or create your own strategy. To create your own strategy, click on the New Strategy button. You will be asked to connect your wallet. Once connected, you can either create a strategy from scratch or invest in an existing strategy created by someone else. We want to create a new strategy, so we will select this option to create a strategy. Here, you need to fill the basic information for your strategy. Your strategy name, description so other users can understand what it is, whether you want auto compound enabled, and whether you want the strategy to be public. Scrolling down, you will see the Builder Fee section. This is where you can monetize your strategy. Here, you choose what percentage of the fees generated by the liquidity pools will be paid to you as the creator. For example, if the liquidity pools generate $1,000 in fees from all investments made into your strategy, $800 may go to investors and $190 may go to you as the strategy creator. In this step, you will select the liquidity pools that your strategy can trade between. First, choose the network you want your strategy to run on. For example, we will use Arbitrum. Next, select your liquidity pools. In this version, you can choose up to 2 liquidity pools. I will choose BTC USDC and BTC ETH. When selecting liquidity pools, make sure they have strong TVL and always verify the contract addresses before continuing. Once you're done, click Next. In this step, you will configure the range and token ratio for each liquidity pool. The range determines how wide your liquidity position is around the current market price. For example, if Bitcoin is trading at $60,000 and you choose a 10% range, your liquidity position will cover a price range around the market price. The ratio determines how your funds are distributed within the liquidity pool. In this case, I will allocate 60% to BTC and 40% to USDC. Configure the second pool as well, and once you're finished, click Create Strategy. Now we arrived at the most important part of the strategy creation process. This is where you define the logic and flow of your strategy and tell the system how to react under different market conditions. For example, I want a BTC ETH centered strategy. If the price moves above the top of my BTC ETH range, I want the funds to move into a BTC USD pool. If the price moves below the bottom of the range, I want the funds to move into another BTC USD pool. If the market continues to move even further, I want the funds to leave the liquidity pool and remain idle until the market recovers. To begin, click Add State. You can choose between a pool state or a hold state. I will choose a pool state and name it BTC ETH. Click Add State and select the BTC ETH pool. Once that's done, we can configure the entry and exit conditions. For the entry settings, I will leave the range set to the default value that was configured earlier. If you want to use a different range for this state, simply enable the custom range option and enter your preferred value. The same applies to the ratio. By default, it will use the ratio configured earlier, but you can switch to a fixed ratio if needed and enter your own values. Once you're done with the entry configuration, move to the exit rules and click Add Exit Condition. Here you can choose between a price condition or a market event condition. A price condition allows the strategy to take action when the price reaches, rises above, or falls below a specific level. You can also choose the time frame of the candle that must meet the condition. One of the easiest ways to configure this is by using a chart. For example, I have the ETH BTC chart open on TradingView, where I can identify the price levels where I want the strategy to leave the pool and move to another state. Another option is to use market events. In this version, market events include bullish and bearish signals. These signals come from a simple indicator that identifies change of character in the market trends, but in the future, this is also where you can connect your own indicators or signal sources and have the system react to the bullish and bearish events they generate. I will now configure the price at which I want this exit condition to act on. Next, choose where you want the funds to move after this condition is triggered. Since we do not have another state yet, we will create one now. I will add another pool state and name it BTC USDC topside. Once you finish configuring the exit condition, remember to click Save State Profile. If you don't save, your changes will be lost. Now I will add another exit condition for when the BTC ETH position exits from the downside of the range. I will enter the exit price and time frame, then create another pool state called BTC USDC downside. Click Save again, and now we can configure the two new states. You can also move your states around in the workspace to create a cleaner and easier to follow visual flow. Let's configure the first BTC USDC state. Select that state and choose the BTC USDC pool. For the entry settings, because we are moving from another liquidity pool, the token balances may have changed. You can use the default ratio, define a fixed ratio, or preserve one token while converting the other one. In this example, I want to keep the amount of BTC I already have and convert the ETH from the previous pool into USDC. Save your changes and move to the exit rules. Just like before, enter the price condition and time frame. Here, I am defining a condition where the strategy moves back into the BTC ETH pool if the market reaches a certain price level. Click Save to keep your progress. Now, let's configure the second BTC USDC state. For the entry settings, I will use a ratio of 40% BTC and 60% USDC. Click Save. For the exit rules, I want the strategy to return to the BTC ETH pool if the price moves higher. I will also add another exit condition that moves the funds into a hold state. I will use the default hold state name and click Save. Now let's configure this hold state. For the entry settings, you have two options. You can either keep the remaining allocation after leaving the liquidity pool or define a completely new ratio. I will choose a ratio of 35% BTC and 65% USDC. Click Save. For the exit rule, I want the strategy to move back into the BTC USDC pool when the price reaches a specific level. Before moving to the final step, you can review your strategy using the Explain Strategy button. This feature generates an AI-powered summary of your strategy and explains how it works. It may take a few attempts to generate a summary, but it can be very useful for reviewing your logic. Once you're satisfied with your strategy, click Continue for the final review. After reviewing everything, click Publish a Strategy so you can add funds to your newly created strategy. And that's it. You have successfully created an automated DeFi trading strategy that uses concentrated liquidity pools and automated rules to manage funds all from a single platform. This example only covers the basics to help you understand the main components of the strategy marketplace. From here, you can build much more advanced strategies using the same concept and tools shown in this tutorial. Thanks for watching.